I remember that Monday morning like it was yesterday. The air in the office was thick with tension, the kind that makes the back of your neck prickle. I was just a junior analyst at Sterling Innovations, trying to keep my head down and learn the ropes. But our new CEO, Mr. Harrison, a man who wore his ambition like a perfectly tailored, overpriced suit, had other plans. He'd been on a firing spree since he took over, culling anyone he deemed dead weight. I was just another name on his list. He called me into his glass-walled office, the city skyline sprawling behind him like a conquered kingdom. He didn't even offer me a seat. He just leaned back in his leather throne, a smug smirk playing on his lips. "Collins," he started, his voice dripping with condescension. "Your performance has been underwhelming. We're restructuring, you see, streamlining, and unfortunately your position is no longer viable." I felt my stomach drop. I had been working 60-hour weeks, pouring my heart and soul into every project, even the ones no one else wanted. I just submitted a comprehensive market analysis that could save the company millions. "Sir, with all due respect," I began, my voice trembling slightly, "I believe my recent report on the Phoenix project—" He cut me off with a wave of his hand. "Ah yes, the Phoenix project, a rather ambitious little paper from a junior analyst. Cute, but we have senior VPs for that kind of thinking. We need people who execute, not daydream." He slid a termination letter across the polished mahogany desk. "Sign this. HR will handle the rest." The finality in his voice was like a punch to the gut. All my hard work, all the late nights, all for nothing. I felt a surge of anger mixed with despair. I wasn't just losing a job, I was being dismissed, belittled, and completely erased. As I reached for the pen, my phone buzzed in my pocket. It was a text from my grandfather, just 2 words. "Call me." My grandfather, a man I simply knew as Gramps, was my rock. He'd always told me to stand up for myself, to never let anyone walk all over me. I looked at Harrison, at his arrogant smirk, and something inside me snapped. I put the pen down. "No," I said, my voice suddenly firm. "I'm not signing this." Harrison's eyebrows shot up in surprise, his smirk faltering for a second. "Excuse me? I don't think you understand the situation, Collins. This isn't a negotiation." "Oh, I understand perfectly," I replied, pulling out my phone. "But I think you're the one who's a little confused. I just need to make a quick call." His face darkened with rage. "You're making a call? Now? Are you insane? Security!" he bellowed, reaching for the intercom on his desk. But before he could press the button, I had my grandfather on speakerphone. "Hey, Gramps," I said, my voice steady. "Sorry to bother you. I'm at the office. Mr. Harrison is trying to fire me." A warm, familiar voice filled the silent office. "Is he now? Put him on the line, son." I held the phone out towards Harrison, whose face had gone from red to a pale, sickly white. He looked at my phone like it was a venomous snake. "Who is this?" he stammered. "This is Arthur Sterling," my grandfather's voice boomed, calm but radiating absolute authority. "I believe you're sitting in my chair, in the company I founded 40 years ago. Now tell me, Mr. Harrison, why are you trying to fire my grandson?" The silence that followed was deafening. Harrison's jaw worked silently, but no words came out. The color drained from his face completely. He stared at me, then at the phone, then back at me, the dawning horror in his eyes a sight to behold. Arthur Sterling, the legendary founder, the man who had supposedly retired to a quiet life years ago but still held the controlling stake in the entire corporation. And I was his grandson. The pieces were finally clicking into place in his overconfident mind. The CEO, the man who held the power of professional life and death in his hands just moments ago, was now trembling like a leaf. "Mr. Sterling, sir, I had no idea," he stuttered, his voice barely a whisper. "There must be some misunderstanding." My grandfather's voice was cold as ice. "There is no misunderstanding. I read my grandson's report on the Phoenix project last night. It's brilliant. It's the most innovative idea this company has seen in a decade. An idea you dismissed as a daydream. It seems you're the one who's dead weight, Mr. Harrison. You're so busy streamlining that you're about to cut off the company's future." I could practically feel the floor give way beneath Harrison. He looked at me, his eyes pleading. The arrogance was gone, replaced by pure, unadulterated panic. "Sir, I can explain," he started, but Gramps wasn't having any of it. "You'll explain yourself to the board, and you'll do it while you're packing your personal belongings. You see, we're restructuring, streamlining, and unfortunately for you, your position is no longer viable." He used Harrison's exact words against him. It was poetic justice, served ice cold. "As for you, son," my grandfather continued, his voice warming up again, "I'm putting you in charge of the Phoenix project, effective immediately. You'll report directly to the board. Show them what you can do." I was speechless. Head of my own project, reporting to the board. It was a dream come true, handed to me in the most unexpected way imaginable. I looked at Harrison, who had sunk into his chair, a broken man. He didn't even look at me. He just stared blankly at the termination letter on his desk, the one meant for me. The next hour was a blur. Security didn't escort me out. They escorted Mr. Harrison out, carrying a small box of his personal effects. The news spread through the office like wildfire. People I'd never even spoken to came up to my desk, congratulating me, their faces a mixture of shock and awe. The very senior VPs who used to ignore me were now asking if I had a moment to chat about my vision for the project. It was surreal. The power dynamic had shifted so dramatically, so quickly. That day, I learned a valuable lesson. It's not about your title or your position. It's about your ideas, your hard work, and having the courage to stand your ground. And okay, maybe it helps a little if your grandfather secretly owns the company. But even so, he wouldn't have stepped in if he didn't believe in my work. He gave me a chance, and now it was up to me to prove him right. As I sat down at my desk, no longer a junior analyst but the head of a major new initiative, I felt a new sense of purpose. The future of Sterling Innovations was in my hands, and I wasn't going to let it slip. And it all started because one arrogant CEO tried to fire the wrong guy. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with this crazy story. It just goes to show you never know what's going on behind the scenes. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.